Hey, I've got a story for you. All right. So I am Jacqueline with JacquelineNichols.com, and years of finding other people's matches, I have learned that occasionally I need to toss myself back out in the field and actually see what's going on in the insane dating world out there. So I had a gentleman that I had met a couple months ago, and we had never really had a chance to actually get together, that I said, hey, I'm back in town, let's get together. And so he's like, oh yes, thank you so much, I'm so excited. So he was very excited, and when I told him I was available, he quickly responded with, I have a plan. And I said, oh my gosh, I love a man with a plan, so I'm all in, let me know. And he said, okay, Friday, 6:30. I was like, you know what? Yeah, let's go for it. I'm totally game for it. As we are getting the details together, he's not over texting. He's texting enough, so I still know he's out there and I know it's going to happen. But it was really nice because he was very in tune at making sure I was feeling good, that I was going to have my needs met, which was so important to me. It was important because it showed that he was really wanted to make a good impression, cared enough to be engaged in the process, but also was taking leadership, which is very important to me. As somebody who's always in charge of everything, I'm definitely looking for a man that is going to step it up, but doesn't need to be taught how to step it up. So as I get the message of, okay, I made a reservation, I've got it, but quick question, is there anything you don't eat or don't like? And I said, nope. I'm pretty good, just don't eat octopus, and cinnamon doesn't agree with me. And he's like, I can work with that. I said, okay, so what do I need to wear? And he said, nothing fancy, a simple dress and a wrap because it gets cold at night. So I was like, okay, he's foreshadowing the possibilities and I appreciate that. Then I said, okay, well, where do you want to meet? He had picked out a restaurant, made a reservations, and then I had told him already it needed to be someplace close because I didn't have a car. He was great. He just said, perfect, picked a place. I ended up walking there and it was a little further than I had anticipated. I guess I picked the mapping direction if I was driving, not walking. So I got there a little bit late, and the sweet thing was that even though I was just a little bit late, his response was, oh, no worries, I made the reservation for 6:45. So he didn't make me feel bad that I was late. I was communicative, but he also was very respectful. So another point, a few more checks for all the pre-planning, the detailed communication, checking in with me. I was like, this guy's doing pretty good. This is impressive. So right away, we sit down, we get ready, and he is full of questions. Curiosity has definitely got him, and he's just like boom, 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 boom with questions. And I'm like, okay, this is great. Let's just have some fun. Let's have a conversation. And so we're enjoying the conversation. We're curious and exploring with it, talking back and forth and sharing. He figures out that I'm a Bubbles girl. He was kind of bummed they didn't have cocktails. And he goes, I should have checked the restaurant because I was really wanting a cocktail, not a beer or wine. And I was like, yeah, he was so focused on making sure I was taken care of. He should have also made sure he was going to be taken care of. When it came to ordering, he and I were both looking at these monster-sized menus, but we're both trying to balance it on this little table. And he goes, do you mind if I order? And I said, actually, I would love if you order. I just have some things I might not like. And he goes, oh, I'm going to ask you each items. And I said, okay, good. This is perfect. So he's checking with the waitress to get suggestions, bouncing them off me. And then he's like, do you mind if we share? And I'm like, oh, I love a guy that shares. I'm like, bing, bing, more checklists. I am excited to try more dishes. I'm glad that I am seeing that he'll only be picking things that he knows I'm going to like. And we're going to share it. So proportionately, we can enjoy it. So we're enjoying this. And then at one point I said, we're ordering a lot and we're at a teeny table. Is there any way we can move to another table? Because the place was packed, but we saw a couple little tables that were open that were a little bigger than that. And we had kind of gotten put in we felt like the timeout zone. It was just this weird little side spot that was difficult to talk, and it was next to a big, huge group. And so they did get us a better table, and we were very appreciative of that, but it also made the experience much more comfortable. We end up having delicious food, continue our great conversation. Then he saw, well, I can't get a cocktail. Let's check out the wine. Oh, well, it's actually really good wine, but it's a better price if I just go ahead and get the whole bottle. He goes, I probably won't drink the whole bottle, but I might as well since it's a better price. And I was like, okay, whatever. I can't drink red wine, so I'll let you make the decision. He had no problem just ordering that, having a good time, kept filling it up, and then suddenly it was gone. It was all gone. The whole bottle was gone. and it was time to wrap up. He was generous, he treated, I appreciated that. And then we left and he said, hey, can we get one more drink? And I was like, sure. And then as soon as we start walking, I realized, oh, this guy can't walk straight. He has got the weaving going on. So I'm like, okay, well, let's just get him a chance to walk, stretch it out. Maybe it'll kind of calm down a little bit. The alcohol might have just hit real fast, but he's a big guy. It should process pretty quickly. When we got to the next place, I was like, oh, actually this place looks kind of cute. I've walked by it a couple times. I'm curious. So yes, let's go in here. I get some more bubbles, keep it consistent. He orders a martini. He's very detailed in how he wants his martini. And then as he's doing this, I'm kind of watching how this guy is dealing. I'm like, oh no, he is definitely intoxicated. And the guy at the bar is asking, does he want another one? And he's looking at mine because I'm a super slow sipper. And he goes, no, I'll just wait for her. And then he finally realizes he's done, I'm done. But he's like, do you want another? And I said, no, I'm good. And he goes, good, I don't need another one either. So we leave and he treats, which I so appreciate. He just took the initiative. He tipped really well. Again, appreciate. As we're leaving, he goes, okay, so we have a few choices. We go to another place for a cocktail. We go home with you, or we call it good and I just hop in an Uber and go home. I said, well, I think we're done drinking. You're not coming back to my place. And I think calling Lyft would be a good idea. He goes, okay, good. But I want to make sure get you home safely. So I said, no problem. I trust you. You can walk me home. And so we're walking, but we're not really walking. I am literally holding this man up. I am full on getting a workout. He can't stand up. He can't go straight. I am wobble walking with him. Thank goodness I knew where I was going. And I'm at the other side of town, so it was quite a walk. And every once in a while he'd be like, how much further? Oh my gosh. And I said, well, I'm a walker, so, you know, people get used to it quickly that when I say it's just around the corner, it's quite a few corners to go. But I love it. I love walking. So, you know, he goes, no, I can do it. I can do it. But he could barely keep up. He almost fell over a few times. And then finally got back to my place and ordered up his Lyft and got him in his little car. But if in the end, I can't feel safe, I can't feel protected, I can't feel important enough that somebody knows their limits. At his age, he should know his limits. He should know how his body responds. Unfortunately, I was excited. He did so many things correct, but if you are too sloppy drunk to even have a conversation, walk down the street, or make quality decisions, let alone protect the person you've invited on the date and make sure they're good. Walking me home isn't really the same thing when you're doing it as somebody who's so intoxicated you can't stand up and you can't actually make decisions. You can't engage. So I just needed to know as the date that he got in the car safe. So I was like, oh no, I am glad he did all the other things correct, but the moment a man can't control his alcohol, I'm not intrigued. I have no problem with somebody drinking, but there's a level of respect, especially early on. Now, if we had been dating for a long time and he had one of those nights where he just got distracted and kept drinking, I have no problem with that. But for the first time really trying to get to know one another and doing that, not good. So yeah, that won't continue. And I got a text from him the next day saying, it was so much fun. I think I drank too much though, but I really want to see you again. Would you be open to going out again? And I'm all like, yeah, at least he owned it. Not really an apology, but it's also like, that's not the life that I'm looking for. But I'm glad that I got a chance to see all the other qualities that hit the checklist, because it did open me up to think, oh, what am I looking for? Okay, this does exist. This person is traveling off to France next month. He's traveling to Mexico the month after. That's a lot of what I want to be a part of. I love talking to people that are living that lifestyle. And he clearly has a lot of similar type people in his life. So we would get along great. I bet his friends would love and adore me. I would have a lot of fun. But the moment that I don't feel safe with somebody, it keeps me absolutely uninterested in spending time with them. Sorry, it doesn't work that way. So what do you think? Have you ever had like the perfect date, perfect respect, perfect everything, and then they come close to a faceplant because of inappropriate ability to control their alcohol or something else? I'm curious. Leave in the comments below.